View the multifunction. Hopefully this goes through across my fingers and hope to dilate. Put this up here on the grill. The multifunction hydrogen reader, the new best in line product to read hydrogen the right and correct way. Let me open it up and unbox it. Bought straight from Amazon. It's the made in China drinking water hyponics pool water meter with temperature gauge, the pH, H2, TDS, EC, ORP, and temp. Let's open it up and figured it out. So it's good to read hydrogen. So first off the bat, we got a little pipette right there. The pipette, it's to take a little water. We're going to show you, demonstrate. Spray it. Oh, I didn't pick it up all the way. It's maybe a Chinese defect, but oh, the drip one, and then drip a little more. Like drip one, drip, like two trips, or one drip right there, one drip, and then another drip like that. Oh, and then we have like the two drip rule there of hydrogen. So basically, we got the manual right here, and then we got all the test cartridges, our kits, pH 7, just like water, pH 7, just like a bottle of water, pH 10, just like water with baking soda. I don't know, just like water, 25 Celsius, 77 Celsius, iron with iron in it, maybe. I don't know. PH 4 buffer, 3 vinegar, 4 carrot vinegar. I have no idea. pH 4 celery vinegar. I don't know. Cantaloupe juice. I don't know. So here's the readings for the monitor here. If you can read it because they're clearly in English. Okay. And I needed it now. Now, okay. So there's the water test. There's 10% salt in the water. Okay, so sea salt in the water here. So water tester quality. What does this do? It's just to test hydrogen. One. Um, and what is hydrogen? It's bound to oxygen. There's no way to break apart hydrogen. There's no competitive molecule for hydrogen. So it's the most toughest fuel there is. That is the most poisonous. So there we go. We have the specifications right here. So for the test, it basically, and I asked ChatGPT this very, 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 very basically, takes the hydrogen, tests it by having it like stick to something like rhodium or something like, not like silver, not like gold. Gold is totally out of the topic. Gold is not even proportional to hydrogen, it doesn't stick at all. But it is conclusive towards the other metals, which are, I think it was rhodium, iridium, and then not platinum. It was no, it was platinum. Yes, it was platinum. And so here's the specifications right here. And if you want to pause the video, you can pause it if you want to, or I'll read them. Obviously, you love me. So measuring range 0 to 2400 ppb, comma 0.001 to 2.400 ppm. Who knows? That's the HG level. So that means it goes from a range of ppb to ppm. So that's probably like the sky to like, the dirt earth, right? So if like hydrogen is like the molecule that, is like sulfide, right? Sulfide sticks to everything and kind of, there's another video about it. But basically, it's like dirt is super poisonous. Feces is super poisonous. High grade poison is high grade poison, and hydrogen sticks to it all. Hydrogen spreads poison. So there you go. Poisonous things, hydrogen. Even crystallized things, hydrogen. Hello, hi guys. You're first to read this little video here. So basically, they might tell you, somebody needs hydrogen, so like hydrogen water, and they get sick all the time. But it's not entirely true according to math and science. So I'm going to turn it on here. I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to test all these things. I'm just going to show you how a hydrogen meter works and how it works. So basically, and theoretical, thoughts, right? You take the hydrogen. You might have a closed unit. You might have an open unit, right? Wait for the car to pass right now. Your inner instinct right here. Go around, or go through the alleys, or go through like the kid village, right? There's always a villager anywhere really. So basically, this is the hydrogen meter. I say more. This is the hydrogen meter. So I go down to a closed unit or an open unit, right? So you might say to your thinking mind, your 3 second mind, your 2 second, your 1 second mind, your project management or your manager mind, right? Your money mind, right? That basically, everything should be open. Everything should be, politely open. It is, the detrimental world to have everything open. That's like, carbon trees are open, they breathe oxygen, there's CO2, they don't have control over the ground, right? That's C O H, like they're combined, they're your unit fixed, right? Kind of like business, like they only compare it to like a person, but in a way. But or your charges of electricity, one positive versus one negative, they don't just cancel each other out, right? So it's a good way of putting it. The hydrogen meter here, though, is selective. So I guess from what I can see here is a Kenyon reactor or something like that, and then something like a abbreviated way to change the signal, and then something like and it's not simple math here to test it, right? So it might be fatigued color, it might be electrical current, which is kind of similar to something like UV rays, but simply it works to a polar boundary. So like you have a positive electron, and I'll show you like an example, but the positive electrons, right, might pass through electron just like potassium or magnesium and then create hydrogen reaction with water, right? But there will be a synthesis, right? So that underground synthesis kind of gets raveled in like a carbon chain, oxygen, hydrogen, like a like ciliate, like it kind of unravels and grows like a cell membrane, right? But the ultra reality is like you take palladium and you were to take it and heat it up, right? And I'm not saying do it because it is dangerous, right? It will reduce the hydrogen and it will decrease it, but it will also all the air will be sucked out as well, because the hydrogen sticks to oxygen, but the hydrogen actually sticks to bacterial and dirt. Doesn't mean it's negative. It doesn't mean it's positive. It means it's a little loop, like hydrogen is to oxygen, and it keeps on circling over and again. A free bound way. This is gaseous, right? This is something you cannot see, except it is dyed, and there's hypothetical situations that can be dyed, but that's more scientifically thinking. Consumer products, those are more extreme, or on the lo-fi, so they have to do with blood and bacteria. So basically, you might watch an episode of House, like MD, right? And might say like, this is this and this is from this. So lucky background. So basically, I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to see how it reacts to the environment, because it basically will calibrate, and then we'll see how it works. Because hydrogen, everything is filled with hydrogen, and it works like a meter would, like so, like a video camera or something that zooms in, like a signal that might put a signal first through something else, or like it works through like alloys, like 10, right? So you take the power button, so it settles at 101. So basically, it puts a binary loop there. Um, this is like the calibration units of like how something like one of those like binary meters. You stack like a little coin thing on a meter, and then a security guard checks it in like that. Those are not loop protection. Those are private industry because they're owned by a patent. That patent technically is a little bit illegal, but the reality there is it works like a decibel goes off decibel. So when you think about RFID, think about like something that's like kind of like magnetic, but is also circulatory. So basically, it works like a COH. It's tangible for a human, but it is mostly having to do with ash or things that are non-environmental. So they're cyclical. So they have a hydrogen process in them. The loop or different, but we use, at least in the United States, we use a LF signal kind of thing, like NFC is RFID, but we use LF, and that's also again patented and not publicly accessible. So we have this as a consumer. This is a hydrogen meter. So it tells us, what's not good to do, good not to eat, what's good to do, and what's good to eat, right? Good versus bad. Kind of like the acronym of ATGC. You have lithium on one side for the computer, reads the binary bit of ATGC. It's the lowest amount of memory. And then you have the higher amount, which is human functionable. It might be CCC chain, but it's 0% of, with the altercation of no DNA process, right? Is it COH or, other things that are more concrete? Hydrogen isn't exactly concrete. It's more philosophical in a way, right? It's a humanity in a way. Take substance, you take the atomic, elements there. So it does touch the temperature here. It does test the pH. Obviously, it's moving around. It's fluctuating with the air. Does air move around it? Yes, it does. Okay, so you're not like 5 years old. So basically, it tests hydrogen. I just read your comment there. It tests hydrogen, basically, and I hope I went over that beforehand. So so it has all these like unique functions on it. So I'm not going to calibrate it right now. I'm just going to show it off and see how it works, right? I mean, is it a tin can alloy? Is it like the coolest thing? Is it some dude like, actually putting like precious metals in the circuit and saying like, I can sell this, and like, people saying, or this is machine for man. Like this is it right here, man. But okay. So it also has this like don't throw away in the trash can, and that's the E button there, or the marks there. So this is it. Kenyan Ion, I would have to write them and I'll see how that works. But it's by this kit is by YINMIK Best. And I know they have the worst names imaginable, but they're with me now. I had to have it right now. So there I am, buying it on Amazon. I was like, I'm in psychology class. I might as well get this just because. So I went and got it just to have as more of a like, kind of test procedure, kind of like, if this was ever, in the open, if like instead of buying, water bottle, like, you screw it in, it makes hydrogen water, and like you might have hydrogen water, you buy this hydrogen tester and say like, I'm done with like, yeah, maybe it's the PMS episode, maybe it's something else. It came up with another assignment I was doing for psychology class. And this is the reality there of testing hydrogen. So I won't waste, my time or your time if you just came in, obviously. But this is the hydrogen emitter. So we're going to test, or I'm going to test it, obviously, not on the juice, but on water from the sink. And right here where I live, it is what it is. I mean, we have a gas line down there, but don't tell people that, obviously. Don't tell people, whatever is whatever. But the TDS meter, is it the same? I honestly don't think it would. I think it would have a Canyon a reactor, and it kind of works like a one-piece C signal, which is like, how a wind like cycle would work. It just adjusts towards the calibration, kind of like a bike, like kind of if you calibrated it like with a disc pad, it would have like a spring in it. You put it in there, and it would just kind of like kind of rotate find the zinc, and it would zap it. And I've looked a little bit about this when I was younger, but it's not exactly a good science. It's really basic. So it takes like the zinc and iron and to proportionalize it. Of course, it needs a special port, but again, it's a loop signal. It's a lot of dodgy stuff, right? Dodgy is a good way to put it. And if someone says like it's a signal that it doesn't do it, it's more of the potential of like that technology. It's like you don't take that technology and you just roughly write it in. It's like your own signature. You don't just like let people have it, right? That's strange. So the potential there is like this is how it works. So my guess is it takes like the frequencies of the calibrated water, I guess, and it kind of. I mean, I would have to really look at it, cation ions and anions, and see how it works. But I do know you can make alkaline water, or hydrogen water with a signal, right? You put like one negative signal onto a piece of water. You probably loop the other positive wire like that, like in a loop like that, but you don't touch them, right? So technically, I mean, it would need some sort of research. I mean, we cation ion. I mean, technically, you create it with like decay, but of course, it's poisonous. So you would use a plastic cup if you were ever to do that at home, right? Or else you would no drink out of that cup ever again. So because it would be decay, and it would basically take your cell membrane, and then you would remember that moment for the rest of your life. This would be like around 60 degrees. You would, basically. So the rule there is paper, basically. Anything that's detrimental to paper, cotton, things like that, is saturated in your body, like COH, right? Anything beyond paper is without protocol. That's how human function works. So I'm going to test it out here. As I go into the ppm here, it does not really do anything. The temperature tests, or the hydrogen, I guess I'm on the hydrogen meter test here. It does not calibrate. Automatically, it was not calibrated automatically. I guess I got a new test unit. Maybe that's it. Oh, the pH balance was tested, and it has a pH balance of 8.2. That's because this is tap water with high amount of concentrated salt, more than 7%. So let's check of the MS. What is this? The do. This is something. This is the resolution EC, so it has the range of particles per meter, I suppose, or the resurrector of the temperature and hydrogen count. So basically, it has a measuring range of 0 to 50 Celsius, that's 32 degrees to 122 Fahrenheit. So the EC, these are all spectacle, right? Main EC reader. It is so test EC. It will test. I had this before. I'm trying to think about what is this test exactly, but EC will have to get back to you. I can grab a computer right now and check it out, but it does not really say on here at all. EC reader will test probably what is that conductivity of the water? I think that's the electric conductivity. It has to be electric conductivity, obviously. All right, so now that I got your attention, obviously, let's go into the next units. We have the ppm, parts per million. Oh, it tests. That's right here. 586, as you can see. Then I have the MV. What's the MV now? I didn't even know this is on the instructions. Gosh, I don't even know what the MV is, but it's 188. So maybe they gave me the wrong unit, or maybe the MV is something else entirely. MV, meters per volt. Maybe it's that. Mm, Let me see if I can find an MV. Oh, here it is. The ORP range. Okay, so that's millivolts, I guess. That's 1000 negative to 1000 positive. So tells you if it takes a charge. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. So it has like a anion reactor in here. So that's a positive plus. That means it has a way to count oxygen and hydrogen combined, right? So that's something that tells you that they have a probable way to test soil in extreme measures. So it's 191, 180. So it kept the sediment level in the water, as you can see, it rose. That's not normal. It also means it has a cation or a cation ion, so it's the less known one, cation. So that means it might have like a structured gold coated something in the circuit. It has a positivity of zero point 0.1 MV accuracy, 0.01 MV. So that's not bad. 0.01 resolution. So resolution would be like ATV, right? So ATV to like something like a digital circuit would be in 4A. So that's like MP3, but M4A, right? So the potential that is, or I'm sorry, MPA. MPA is more of a local circuit for like a JavaScript program, right? So basically, that would create a proportional of like the circuit being dry, hot, circuit like being lit on or off, right? So it has a closed circuit. So that's good. That's important because if it didn't have a closed circuit, it would not account for maybe the ppm or molar mass. I mean, this could basically test for a molar mass. I mean, if hydrogen is on everything, then fuck, man. This would test for molar mass. This could test for the fentanyl epidemic, obviously, quote unquote. I bought some phenol dye to test, the idea of like shampoo. I'm gonna read a review about some of these things, obviously, because I don't want to get away with anything I don't want to get away with, obviously. So potentially, um, let me go ahead and test the next thing of. Oh, it even has -6. That's crazy. PB, PB. So that's the H2. Oh, shoot. Oh, it did read, and then it didn't read. It reads there. I don't think you can see it. No, it doesn't read. It reads, but it doesn't read. So it's like saturation. It can actually test the hydrogen. That's an interesting process. That's making me impressed. I rarely get impressed with products, but I think I'm impressed right now. I'm pretty sure I'm glad I made this live right now. Thank the heavens I didn't seek revenge on someone or vengeance. Thank the heavens. But I mean, is it cool because it has the batteries? I mean, I would like this USB-C if it could like the iPod, but this. Did I wash it before? I opened it right up on the camera. Didn't you see me? This could be a movie. Okay, let's go to the next signal and I won't waste any of your time no more. If you ever use a VPN, I just try not to use a VPN. So here's the PPM OH2 on the, I think it's like the measurement range. I'm not sure, but it changes up. Changes up to like decimals and then parter or particulars or something like that. I forget. Kind of like how like copper anion wire works, right? Not all copper anion wire, obviously. Kids these days playing with copper wire, right? So let's go to the next route here. We got the pH again. So that was it, and it told you all those things. So I'm kind of impressed. Kenyon, charge and not charge. So like say the sky, I mean, had big canyon. I mean, what if like, something was made of acid and you didn't know how to check it, or like, like for some reason, like drugs were like possibly in your product or not in your product. And you're like, I didn't know how to test this before, but then now I do know how to test this, obviously. I went to college. But or like, you took like the anion idea, it's scraped out the window, like nobody knows how to do this anymore. And you're kind of like, I can test for anything dirty, and I use this. So there we have this in some sort of weird miracle kind of way coming up. And what is it? It's the end of March, into March almost 2025. So there we go. We got the Canyon, or we got the hydrogen reader right here. Just to test it out a little bit more, I ordered 1 gram of gold from the Earthman with serial code. I'm going to try it one more time, see if this works. Maybe this ain't a dodgy project data product after all. So even though it has a bad name, maybe coming to your store later. I mean, who knows? Maybe it looks cool. Maybe it looks different. Maybe it looks like the coolest, sweetest thing. But there you are. There's the reality of this exchange right here, and that reality of carpal cooking. Take care.